Let's fire this sucker back up. I did it again. The last one I looked at and it was 8 minutes. So I thought, okay, 4 or 5 minutes. Went in, recorded, came back out to check. And it was at 16 minutes. So that's part of the lost archives, which some video editor would have to go in and edit out. Just kind of edit this part out too. Um, September 3rd, hardly matters. 2024, Tuesday, overcast. Been a very cool summer. That happens every few years. But I guess this is our cool summer. If it's not global, I don't know what to call it. But I'll tell you, it isn't Gaia that needs to care. It's humans that need to care if they want to survive. Yeah, just survive. Because there's a certain amount of evidence that we have come this way before, possibly many times, and crashed and burned and grown back up to where we are now. Some say that there's a lot of Atlanteans that are reincarnating at this time. And we all know what happened to Atlantis. Bimini. Anyhow, so September 3rd, 2024, I'm working, I'm spelunking down the rabbit hole of Avalanche NFTs and what people are doing out there. And we're talking about villains, which just seems to have come on the market. Are you going, the villains? The villains? I thought I heard my phone going, but then it occurs to me I don't care. Yes, the villains. They're newly minted. The guy minted like 1,300 of them, and either bought one or someone else did, and they're off and running. So this would be a great one to keep an eye on. Now let's look at what it is they're selling. And that would be the items tab. I was looking at the overview tab. And okay, they've got visuals because some of these it comes up video, and they're not rendering it, but evidently they're like an MP4 or something. And other ones come up audio because you can do audio too, so that would be like MP3s or some fashion. But I've done multimedia for over 50 years. And so and as a lifelong innovative entrepreneur, of course I've got to look at both. Can't it be both? Um, and and so we're gonna go from collectible things like this, villains, collectible. And as we go down the line, we're going to start having dossiers, so to speak. We're going to have profile. We're going to be aware of our competition and what they're doing, and maybe even partner with them at some point if appropriate. But we're going to do the collector game. On the tokenization side, we'll go for memes that we're looking for opportunities to make utilities tokens. But on the NFTs, we're going to try to get in the collector game, make collectible things, and move those towards multimedia entertainment and into comic books, comic strips, comic books. We can even start because we know where we're going. We can start with the characters and the franchises, branding them just as images, and then go down the line and uh, And so our products will transition to being basically comic books that become interactive comic books to the point that they're basically games, and then we're in games. That's where I want to be. We sell entertainment. I want to be in games. If we've got to pick one, I want it to be in games. The rest just details. So, time check, 5 minutes. Don't you overrun. If you overrun, you won't be able to upload. So we're looking at villains, which are on Avalanche, and they do have the images here. Ew. And they're rather, I wouldn't call them zombies, but kind of zombie-esque. Is that a word? Zombie-esque images. Okay, there's hat, eyes, obviously, mouth, obviously, coat, obviously. Yep, hat, mouth. I think it's all the same. Nose, eyes, mouth. So, the eyes that are shooting out laser beams or whatever. And some pretty wacky hats. But they don't look, I mean, okay. As a collector and stuff, I should be able to look in here and pick any one of these images and say, yeah, I can see that guy being the villain. All right, maybe they're doing it. Yeah, this isn't a bad one. We should keep an eye on it. But you know what? Rather than put a bookmark on it or something and try to come back, because I don't have a lot of time for rehashing stuff. Um, if it really is something, it will grow. It will grow. In fact, like I said, except this might be a good target for trying to flip. What was the floor price again? Actually, I might make this a project all in itself. I might change my mind if it's cheap enough. And they are doing the numbering, so you have like 1073 out of 1304, and the next one is 405 out of 1304. Um, Activity. Well, that won't tell us much. Let's go back to the overview. 0.7 AVAX, huh? Um, yeah, this would be interesting. This is the kind of stuff I need to if it's cheap enough. And let's see. So how am I gonna? Already got AVAX NFT. Villains. And its floor price is 7 AVAX, which translates into time to find out how much an AVAX is going for. And we should be able to get that fairly quickly. Uh, AVAX. Uh, 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 21. $21, huh? Well, actually, it's 21.61. So, let's get a calc. It's part of my pet peeves with these like Microsoft things and stuff. Seems like with each version they become less functional. Where is my hotspot? Come on. God, I hate Windows. And I blame the OS because it's their responsibility. Okay, where was I trying? Now that I know where my hotspot is, yeah, it's just, see, this is what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to bring up a calculator, which used to be a pretty much uh, trivial thing. But evidently, they don't think people use calculators enough, which is another thing I hate about these UIs. The more versions they come out with, the more arrogant they seem to be with assuming that they know what the user wants better than what the user really wants and needs. Crappy. You know, there's anything evil about Bill Gates, it's Windows. 2, 1. Let's not. Don't worry about the pennies because the prices change. Right? Oh, okay. And we want to say 0.7 of that. 14. So about say $15. So it's at about $15. So that's an acceptable price. See, this is why we will be able to sell our NFTs. We can just get them minted and out there because people like me will buy them simply because um, I want to participate. It's embarrassing, okay, but like I said, we're late to the party. But every day, every hour, I've been learning more and more. And see, here's another one. So that's two so far that have the laser eyes. So we could collect like the laser eyes, so we'd want those two. And see, this is how the collecting goes. And we want to feed the collecting because that's what we're doing. We sell entertainment, but so uh, as a collector, why is this entertaining? Why is it fun to buy these? Well, because what comes to mind right away is because I'm able to. And I think that's the secret with um uh the real like the 4,000, 14,000, 45,000. I think there's a market out there of people that what comes right to mind is have more money than they know what to do with. So, believe it or not, there's people, if you're a millionaire or something like that, and you want to buy something for 45,000, and maybe the purpose of that is to prove that you can. I think that's where these sales come from. And then, one of the things I learned from eBay auctions and stuff is it only takes two. So if you can get two competing collectors going for the same thing, that's where the price just really goes up. Yeah. So now we know how much we're talking about if we were them. See, that's another way to competition spy or innovative entrepreneur or I don't know what. Billionaire mindset. This is billionaire mind, by the way. If we were them, what would we be doing with this? And why did we decide to do these? Well, this smacks of I wouldn't be surprised if they fivered it out and said, "Yeah, give me 1,304 images to put in this collection because I want to mint an NFT collection."